You work in document authentication and identity verification. It sounds impressive at dinner parties. It isn't. You work for a mid-tier compliance contractor that services airlines and border liaison offices. You don't stamp passports. You examine them. Quietly. Obsessively. You specialize in detecting fraudulent travel documents, laminates, holographic overlays, microprinting that looks like dust unless you know where to look, RFID chips that either whisper the truth or glitch under the wrong scanner, UV fibers that glow when they should and stay dark when they shouldn't. You know how documents fail. You spot irregular kerning in machine-readable zones the way other people notice typos in text messages. You can tell when perforation depth is off by half a millimeter. You know which countries outsource passport printing and which guard their templates like nuclear codes. You once rejected a passport because the shade of blue was wrong. It was wrong. The job is morally neutral, technical, routine. You flag anomalies. You write reports. Someone else decides what to do. You are skilled but invisible. No one applauds the absence of fraud. That's fine. You prefer systems to people. You believe expertise is protection. If you understand how a thing breaks, you assume you can avoid being the one who breaks it. A former client contacts you privately, not through the company email, through your personal one, the one you use for tax reminders and streaming passwords. He says he represents a businessman. He says it casually. Everyone is a businessman when they don't want to explain anything. The problem is bureaucratic. The client holds a secondary nationality, legitimate, on paper, but the passport was never issued, or was issued and never recorded correctly. Or it was recorded and then quietly flagged. Details blur. Money does not. He needs a clean passport under that second nationality. Nothing fake, he insists. Just corrected. Metadata alignment. Record synchronization. Administrative housekeeping. The payment, $80,000. You repeat the number in your head. It sounds different each time. The risk feels manageable. You already understand the system. You won't forge anything. You'll just adjust it. Governments lose paperwork all the time. Databases desync. Dual nationals exist. Borders are political constructs with very expensive printers. You tell yourself you are solving a clerical issue. You accept. The money arrives in advance through a consulting invoice titled Data Reconciliation Services. You stare at the balance. It feels heavier than it should. Something shifts. Not loud. Just enough. You tell yourself, this is still clerical. You access the civil registry using a contractor credential that was never properly revoked. Technically inactive. Functionally alive. No one cleaned it up. You do. You alter the biometric entry. Nothing dramatic. Just a subtle reshuffle of reference points. A correction that never existed but now does. You adjust the issuance timestamp. There was a server migration 3 years ago. 6 hours of archival confusion. You slide the record into that gap. It looks historical. It feels historical. It becomes historical. You clone a legitimate passport number from a canceled booklet. Canceled does not mean erased. It means forgotten. You reroute it before final destruction in the log, a ghost of paperwork. The client boards a flight in Istanbul. You watch the departure board refresh. Your pulse moves into your throat. You consider taking up gardening instead. Boarding complete. No alert. No secondary screening. No polite officer asking questions in a quiet room. No follow-up inquiry. The plane leaves. It worked. You sit back. You understand something new. The system is procedural, not intelligent. It checks boxes. You just learned where the boxes are. Requests increase. At first, 1 a month. Then 1 a week. Then 3 before lunch. Interpol red notices, sanctions lists, revoked travel privileges with very official fonts. You stop pretending these are clerical errors. You start studying the gaps. Not all watch lists synchronize in real time. Some refresh hourly. Some refresh when someone remembers to press a button. Certain countries do not cross-reference biometric updates for 72 hours. 72 hours is a lifetime in aviation. Embassies have backlogs. Verification requests sit in inboxes labeled pending. Pending is your favorite word. You build a network. A registrar in the Caribbean who processes citizenship by investment applications with admirable flexibility. A data entry contractor in Eastern Europe who can still access a legacy system no one budgeted to replace. A passport printing subcontractor who runs test sheets after hours. Very enthusiastic about testing. You don't invent identities. That would be messy. You restructure existing ones. Layered naturalization paths. Name transliteration shifts. Alexander becomes Alexander. Birthplace corrections. Municipal boundary changes are surprisingly useful. Cities merge. Records don't. Dual nationality exploitation, perfectly legal. In theory, you charge $250,000 per identity reconstruction. You call it identity architecture. It sounds better on invoices. You stop asking what your clients did. You focus on whether the data will survive secondary inspection, whether the machine-readable zone scans clean, whether the RFID chip sings the right song. You learn something else. The machine does not care about morality. It cares about structure. You learn how to structure it, and the machine begins to move when you tell it to. You clear travel bans for financiers under investigation, not publicly, quietly. A flag disappears. A record updates. A boarding pass prints. You enable sanctioned executives to attend private meetings in Zurich and Singapore. The meetings are always private. The jets are always discreet. The suits are always expensive. People begin calling you essential. They don't say it loudly. They say it in secure chats, in careful emails, in subject lines that read, "Need your help again." You make $3 million in a year. You still tell yourself it's consulting. Funds move through a holding company in Dubai, then to a consulting firm in Cyprus, then to an LLC in Delaware that exists mainly to look boring. Boring is good. Boring is good. Boring does not get audited. You invest in property near the port. You buy shipping equity. You move money into private debt funds with reassuring names. You don't see the crimes. You see timestamps, clearance codes, green check marks next to names that used to glow red. Without you, they are grounded. With you, borders open. You sit in business class more often now. Just to feel it. You begin to feel untouchable. An intelligence liaison requests a meeting, not through email, through a number that does not appear twice. You expect an arrest. It is not an arrest. It is a conversation. The room is neutral. The coffee is bad. The folder on the table is thick. They already know. Not everything. Enough. They slide the file toward you. 3 of your clients, all under quiet surveillance. You recognize the names. You recognize the passport numbers. You recognize your own formatting in the metadata notes. They don't raise their voices. They don't threaten you. They don't want you gone. They want access. You are efficient. They would like to remain efficient. You begin flagging which clients are worth monitoring. You are instructed to delay one application, accelerate another, introduce friction where necessary, remove it where useful. It feels disturbingly similar to what you already do. In exchange, no prosecution. Protection. Occasional consulting retainers that arrive without invoices. You tell yourself this is safer. You are now useful. You are also documented. You leave the meeting with a new phone. Add a new understanding. You are no longer independent. You are infrastructure. Sleep fragments. You wake at 3:37 set in AM every night. No alarm. Just adrenaline with good time management. You rotate phones every 2 weeks. Different models, different numbers. You keep them in a drawer like unhealthy collectibles. You scan hotel lobbies for faces that linger too long. Anyone holding a newspaper becomes suspicious. No one reads newspapers anymore. That alone feels incriminating. You stop dating. It is hard to explain burner phones over dessert. You avoid old colleagues. They ask normal questions. You no longer have normal answers. You drink more. Not dramatically, just consistently. You suspect the agency is monitoring you beyond what was agreed. There was never really an agreement. Just nods. You suspect your network suspects you. Messages become shorter. Responses slower. Typos more frequent. When register disappears. Vacation, you are told. Indefinite. One contractor stops responding. Account deactivated. No farewell message. One client is arrested publicly. Cameras. Headlines. Official statements. Your name is not mentioned. That almost feels worse. You see the pattern. Access tightens. Requests shift. Tone changes. You understand something clearly now. Leverage flows upward, never downward. And you are standing somewhere in the middle. A political shift. It happens on television first. New speeches, new slogans, new people promising transparency. A new administration takes office. The intelligence directorate is reshuffled. Your handler retires. He sends a polite message. Stay safe. You consider the irony. Internal audits reopen old files. Digital dust gets disturbed. Your name appears more often than it should. You are arrested at an airport. Quietly. No dramatic tackle. Just 2 officials and a request to step aside, charged with document fraud, conspiracy, identity manipulation. The words sound heavier in a courtroom The agency denies operational cooperation. They have no record of your arrangement. You apparently imagine the coffee. Your network dissolves fast. Former clients claim ignorance. They barely remember you. The consultants vanish. The contractors are unreachable. Phones disconnected. Websites under maintenance. In court, you are described as the architect, a mastermind, a criminal innovator. You almost admire the branding. You understand something final. You were not protected. You were contained. In prison, you read about new passport fraud rings. Different names, same methods, better encryption. You recognize the structure immediately. It was never about you. The machine keeps running. You were never the story, just the part of it.